The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's version of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. And each week, we bring you the goings-on from around our towns and villages in the areas that we cover. This week, we're going to be starting out with John Moffat of the town of Mendon. John, how's Mendon doing today?
Great, Chris. Thanks for having me, as always. My notes. I didn't know I was going first. So I just wanted to, first of all, express our concern. I know Rick is going to touch on this about the fire in the community last night or this morning, and appreciate all the volunteers' efforts in that regard. And I'll let Rick continue on that subject. But I did want to mention that Lollipop Farm had reached out to the town supervisors in Monroe County, and we each had the opportunity to go over there for a tour. So I did go over for a tour. Very, very interesting. Obviously been there before. My wife and I adopted a cat from there a few years ago, but it was an excellent tour. And from the town of Mendon, they have in 2021, 28 individuals have fostered animals. So when they foster animals, it's the animals really don't do well in a setting like Lollipop or anywhere else. So they try to get them to a home where people can foster them. So 28 individuals or 28 pets were fostered by town of Mendon residents. There's 4 Mendon residents who are volunteers at Lollipop Farm, and our residents adopted 81 pets during the 2021 year. And they also said, you know, on what I determine is one of the few or better reasons for Facebook is lost pets. And they did say that, you know, a lot of times pets are found and turned into Lollipop. So if you do you know, have a lost pet in the future, it's a very good idea to check with Lollipop Farm, because a lot of times they do get turned in over there. Regarding dogs in the town of Mendon, there is for licensing, if you have a dog, please make sure it's licensed. There's only a $6 fee. That is if your dog is spayed and neutered. All licensing is done at Mendon Town Hall, and that is for all Mendon residents, including residents from the village of Honeoye Falls. If your dog is not spayed or neutered, there is a $15 fee. Those are state regulations. And when you do register your animal, please make sure that you provide proof of rabies and if the dog has been spayed or neutered. And one of the things that we concentrate on at the town of Mendon is getting the dog back with the owner. We're not all about enforcement. We're about getting the dog and the family back together. So I would encourage you to license your dog, because that just helps us get them back to you that much sooner, and hopefully eliminate some red tape. So I'm going to throw it back to Chris, because I know there's a lot of important things that Rick wants to cover today. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John. Rick, why don't you go ahead and start off with the fire that happened Thursday night, Friday morning. Tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. So at approximately 12:30 a.m. Friday morning, fire was reported at the Seneca Place Apartments off of Pine Trail in the village. Upon arrival, our chief officers reported this to be a working fire, and a full evacuation of Seneca Place was initiated. Mutual aid response was requested, and assisting the Honeoye Falls Fire Department on scene were Mendon, Lima, Rush, Henrietta, and East Avon Fire. Filling in at our fire hall were members of the Pittsford and Egypt fire departments. EMS agencies responded as well, including Honeoye Falls, Mendon, Perrington, and Pittsford. They did a great job assessing firefighters as needed, as well as the residents that were coming out of the building. Also present were multiple Monroe County Fire and EMS coordinators, and our Monroe County Sheriff Patrol officers also responded from both the B and A zones. While this was a major fire and there was a lot of physical or structural loss, there was no loss of human life and no major injuries, and quite honestly, we're very, very lucky. I want to thank the many involved in the incident. Our Fire Chief Corey Truer and Assistant Chief Tyler Zavitz did an incredible job assessing and leading the command. Our fire trucks, our first-in trucks, did a great job setting up and with the initial attack, and our mutual aid companies were unwavering with their assistance. Excuse me. Monroe County Sheriff's Department provided both scene security and supported the efforts to clear the immediate area, and then assisted with moving residents over to Pinehurst. And they, Pinehurst, were absolutely wonderful in allowing residents of Seneca Place to hold out out of the inclement weather at their facility. The professionalism and compassion of the Monroe County Sheriffs was key to keeping a calm scene under a very challenging circumstance. Unfortunately, some families, some people lost all of their personal belongings and some pets. Their path forward will certainly be difficult, but I know we will come together as a community, as we always do. I know there will be many that want to assist, and that is being worked on. And I would expect that further notification will be posted on our websites, on social media with a Sentinel, and on other social media avenues as we go forward. I'm sure there'll be some sort of a GoFundMe type setup. I would expect that to happen in this community, and other collections to support the displaced residents. Our hearts and prayers go out to all those suffering and to all of our community. Again, I ask you to be patient as support is being set up. So as I said, it was a very trying situation. We're just so lucky to have the volunteers that we have, and our neighboring departments were just, incredible. Those on the scene were just, they did whatever they needed to do. And again, when we talk about across the county and across the area now with the exemption, and I don't mean to bring politics into this, but we talk about the exemption for some of our local volunteers for fire and EMS on their property assessment. I think this is just another example of why that's important, because although we certainly always appreciate those who are in it for the paid service, and they do an incredible job, we are very, very lucky to have the volunteers that we do in this community and in the surrounding community. So, we appreciate all they do. And again, I think as bad as this is, we kind of got very lucky, no loss of life, and people are able to be with their families. So that's a good thing. So thanks, Chris. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Rick. Eileen, the Village of Scottsville, how are we doing there?
We are doing well. And first of all, I'd like to lend our prayers, support, and thoughts to Honeoye Falls as they're going through this difficult time. And, we'll be looking forward to updates on how people in the surrounding communities can help. Other going on with cold wind chills and heavy snow over the weekend, we hope everyone is bundling up when they go outside and being extra cautious while driving. This is a time when those masks we've been wearing may come in handy for being outside. Our village board meeting was held this past Tuesday. Local Law 1/2022 was passed regarding parking on the south side of Beckwith Avenue. There will be 2-hour parking from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. except Sundays and holidays from 100 feet east of the east wall of Thomas J. Connor School to 100 feet west of the west wall of that school. Basically, this is in front of the school. It's been something we've been getting the wording straightened out. It's all taken care of now and signs will be posted. The board also passed a resolution to forego the petition process of Local Law 8-2021 pursuant to the Cannabis Law 133, opting out of licensing and establishing retail cannabis dispensaries within the village of Scottsville and place it on the ballot of the March 15, 2022 village election. This is only for the dispensary. We opted out of on-site consumption establishments, and that is not being put on the ballot. The budget workshop will be held in the municipal building on Tuesday, January 18th at 6 p.m. It is an open meeting and all visitors are required to mask up and socially distance. The village is in good shape as we go into the budget season. We've been keeping our spending conservative over the past few years and have been able to fund our reserves again, so we're in good shape to go forward. At the budget meeting, we are also set to vote on setting a public hearing to consider Local Law 2-2022, amending Chapter 150 of the Code of the Village of Scottsville by adding Article 6, granting a tax exemption for volunteer firefighters. And after what Honeoye Falls has experienced today, it's another reason to really pass this exemption and grant those people that put their life on the line to keep our community safe and pass this tax exemption. The New York State Senate recently amended real property tax law to provide this tax exemption on property owned by members of fire companies or volunteer ambulance services in Monroe County. So we will be setting that public hearing at our budget meeting for February, I believe it's 11th. So that's it for Scottsville, and have a good week, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Eileen. Mike, the town of Lima, how are we cooking there?
We are doing okay, Chris. Of course, that is a tragedy about the fire in Honeoye Falls, and our thoughts and prayers are with you all there. This is the time of year where we see the huge cold snaps, and the tendency is to take that old electric heater out and plug it into the wall so that you can get through the -1 degree temperatures that we are seeing. As a professional in this area, I would caution you, if the plug goes into the socket and it is loose, do not use it. If the cord has been chewed on by your pets, if you have run over it with some sort of thing in the house and it's looking a little bent, don't use it. If it looks bad, it is. And these are things that every year do cause a certain number of fires, which could be avoided. Keep your electric heating equipment in good working order and only use the outlets that actually work correctly. If they're not working well, please have them fixed. Business owners in Livingston County are invited to take a short survey about hiring teenagers as employees. The end result of the survey will be a booklet with tips on how to get and keep a job. The survey will also gauge interest on the part of the employer in being included in the booklet as a potential employer of teenagers and a resource in other ways. You can contact Mary Gouldenschue at the Workforce Development Office for details at 243-6909. The Workforce Development website has a link to the SurveyMonkey to fill out the survey. But this is a great way for employers to let the teenagers know what their expectations are, and maybe get some summer help or evening help when it is so difficult to find help these days. Livingston County Health Department is no longer doing the contact tracing, so they have instituted a self-serve system for the isolation and quarantine process. You can see the Livingston County Department of Health website for details. Lima's Joint Zoning Board will be meeting at the Town Hall Monday, the 17th at 7 p.m. to discuss the signage application for the Dollar Tree Family Dollar. New Chairman Jim Van Dyck will be presiding. Lima's Joint Planning Board will be meeting Wednesday, the 19th, and new Chairman Wayne Childs will be presiding. The Livingston County Water and Sewer Authority is looking for a deputy director. If this is something that you think you're interested in, https://livingstoncounty.us/1323/employment will get you the link to see what that job is all about, working with Jason Molino, who is the director. That's all I've got, Chris.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Jerry, Town of Rush, what are we doing there?
Well, we're doing a few things, but before I get into that, I would like to express our sadness over the Honeoye Falls fire and let people know that we are keeping you in our thoughts and our prayers, and very pleased that Rush Fire Department was able to assist in that battle. It's always nice to be able to help somebody else who is less fortunate than you, and this was a good case of that. That also makes a good point to bring up the tax relief that's being proposed for fire department members and ambulance members who own property. I hope our town board will pass that. That's something that I've been chatting about for years, and I think it's a good thing and the right way to go, so I hope that we will be passing it. I wanted to also mention that we held our organizational meeting on Wednesday night, 2 nights ago. Everything passed through and we are off and running for 2022. I do have a restaurant announcement to make. I usually don't have any restaurant announcements to make, but the Creekside Inn has opened up for breakfast 7 days a week. And I have not been able to go there yet, but I get a lot of reports that it is great. So I know you other mayors and supervisors have places to go, but if you could go an extra morning for breakfast and come to the Creekside, that would be good. And I guarantee you'll enjoy it. One thing that I hate to mention is the COVID has had a resurgence, and it has included many staff in the town hall. And what we did earlier this week is declare that all of our board meetings would be on Zoom. We have restricted people from coming into the town hall in person, and I think that might carry through at least next week. You see me with a mask on, it's because I don't want to be exposed to it. We have so many people exposed to it in Rush, I can't believe it. We didn't have that the first go around, but we sure got it now. So I hope that none of you get it. And let's move on to a very prosperous and healthy 2022. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Has anyone thought of something they might have forgotten to say that they want to add?
Yeah, Chris, I'm sorry. I did want to, just as a reminder, I think I talked about this last week, but with the Martin Luther King holiday this month and then President's Day next month, our meetings, our monthly board meetings are moved back a day. So instead of meeting on Monday, the 17th this month, we will be meeting on Tuesday, the 18th this coming week. So I just wanted to mention that. And Jerry, I will just say, I haven't been there for breakfast, but I have been to the Creekside for dinner and the food was fantastic. It's a great place to go.
All right.
And
Eileen, you got something?
yep, Rick reminded me. Our village clerk is on vacation this coming week since the building is closed for Martin Luther King Day on Monday. It'll be closed it'll also be closed on Tuesday. And then it has different hours on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday and Thursday will be 11 to 4. And on Friday, it will be 8 to 1. Anne is taking a well-deserved vacation, and we hope she has a great time. She has plans for doing some stuff around her house in her sewing room. So we hope she has a good time. And the other thing is, hey, if you don't want to use something electric to keep warm, hot water bottle always works. So boil that water, fill up that bottle, and you'll be toasty.
All right. Good advice. That's it from everybody. Thank you for being a part of this week's show, and thank you all for listening. Remember, we're here every Sunday at 1 o'clock on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Otherwise, you can read the transcript in the Sentinel paper the following week. That's it for now. So bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.